Hey, Stancil. Today I'm in a little booth at work. So you can see that. There you go. In one of those little booths and just recording. I'm playing around with Zoom. Now they now have clips. Or maybe I didn't have an update in a while and haven't seen it, but thought I'd record a quick one. It just came out of a coaching session and talked a lot about uh, negative thoughts and how to I guess not overcome them, but push them aside so you can actually focus on what you need to focus on and get a bit more positive. So pushing aside is probably not the best word, but what you want to be able to do is essentially techniques straight away, right? What you want to do is you need to be able to write down these negative thoughts or things that have happened, right? Write it down. Don't try and weasel your way out of them, right? Come up with something positive straight away because you need to acknowledge those negative things. If you try and get positive all the time, those negative things will fester within you, and you'll see the full force once it comes into play. So you don't want that, right? What you want to do is you want to write these down, whatever negativity comes up, and you have to write them down. Don't try and just think of it in your head because you tend to write down way more than what you can think of, right? So write down these negative thoughts or thought as they come, or throughout the day or the week or whatever works for you, right? So write down the negative thing, and then underneath that, actually, before you even write down the next bit, I want you to just analyze that negative thought, right? Just look at it and just sort of think, okay, what am I really writing down? Is this true? All that sort of stuff. So sort of question a few things around it, but don't go too deep. So you acknowledge what's going on. Once you've acknowledged it, you've written it down, then the next step is to what I call write down open positive questions, right? So, for example, if you wrote down something like, this person at work keeps bothering me, right? Uh, and it's affecting you. What you can do is say, okay, how can I not have this happen at work? Right? How can I such and such and such, right? So what that does is the open question gets you to come up with a lot of answers, right? You can put this into Chat GPT if you wanted to. It'll probably give you some more answers, or Google, right? So come up with an open question. How can I? Right? Now, you don't have to know all the answers. You can research and, like I said, Google the answers or use ChatGPT, because what that's going to do is going to give you a ton of different ways to get out of this situation rather than focus on the one negative thing that's going to pull you down, right? That's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to create scenarios where you then, once you've got those scenarios, you can test them out, right? You can say, oh, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that. And you go and try them. And what you'll find is that there'll be something there that once you do it, will not just get rid of that thing, but you probably won't have any similar problems ever again because you know now what to do, right? It could be setting boundaries. It could be, coming up with different mindset on dealing with idiot people, right? There could be so many things to do. It's just a matter of doing it. But once you're in an emotional state, something's affected, you're not going to think of all these things. Your brain's not in a rational mind, right? You're in that emotional state. So that's why writing down, sitting down, writing down slowly gets you into that rational state. And then once you're at that rational state, then you can think of, lots of solutions. But you can't think of a solution once you're in that emotional state. So write down the negative situation, whatever's happened. Then underneath that, write down open question, right? That's positive. How can I? Blah 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 blah. And then number three is go and do those things, right? If you've done everything and you still haven't gotten an answer, guess what? There's more things to try and find out. Don't be one of these people that say, "Oh, I've tried everything." You haven't tried everything. Trust me, right? So go and do that. Once you do those things, I can guarantee you'll start figuring out ways that help you move forward in life as well. Another thing to add on to that as well, and this is like a bonus little tip, I guess, on top of everything, is whatever goals you might have, right? write them down. If you don't have goals, write them down. If you do, focus more on them, because what's going to happen is if you're working towards your goals, that gives you something to, I guess, aspire to, right? And if you're in a constant mode of excitement about your goals, if you're always looking forward to something, that excitement can make you happy, right? That excitement can sometimes override whatever that's negative, right? You can, because what happens if something negative happens, you don't want it to affect the positive stuff that's going to happen in life, right? So what you try and do, if the positive stuff's really, if you're really focused on it, you're going to try and minimize whatever that negative situation is. So then you do your best to try and find answers, because you don't want it to affect that cool thing that's about to happen, or a lot of good things that are happening in your life, right? You don't want that. So try that, give it a go. Your brain is very, very powerful. So you keep working on things like this, you'll start to see a turn in not just your mental state, but the way people treat you, the way that, you complete things, and the way you're becoming productive, right? It's not just about learning skills. Learning skills is one thing, but you have to take care of this thing. As soon as you take care of that, everything else can come into play. You can learn and remember everything. You can take yourself into amazing career paths, but you need to focus on this. And it's not so much about getting rid of negativity, it's knowing how to manage it, because you're always going to be hit with something, right? Always going to be hit with something. So the test becomes harder, but you become a lot stronger as you move along. So hopefully that's helped you out. If you need more tips on that mental state stuff, feel free to, share some of your ideas down below. I would love to try and cover as best as I can in some of the topics there. And if you want further memory lessons, a breakdown of these videos, I run weekly memory lessons as well, which you can find on my website, and I'll put it down in the description below. So thanks a lot, and I'll catch you next video. Cheers.